Welcome to the Danny Clinkscale Reasonably Irreverent podcast. Insightful and witty commentary, probing interviews, and detours from the beaten path.
Every once in a while, we have to bring out the big dog.
Yeah.
Oh, God help us. It's time for Danny Unleashed. Sponsored by Easton Roofing, where integrity matters. Go to eastonroofing.com for more.
That's right, Easton Roofing proud to bring you Danny Clinkscale. Little Danny Unleashed here on a Cinco de Mayo. But don't worry, the Cinco de Mayo celebrations already begun here at the Salty Iguana. Great spot, whether it's here in Independence where we are on 40 Highway, Prairie Village, Olathe, Lawrence. They're happy to take care of you as well. Celebrating Cinco de Mayo all weekend long at all 4 iguanas. Take advantage of $10 32-ounce fish bowls, $10 mini pitchers of margaritas, and, of course, their great Mexican food. You know, if you go to saltyiguana.com, you will see that they have specials each and every day. Every day there's a special. Fridays, fish taco platter. Take advantage of that. You can come on in. Saturdays, the let's see what they got. The fishbowl margaritas. They got on Mondays taco salads, tostada grande. Tuesdays the royal blue tacos, chicken fajitas on Wednesday, plus drink specials for you to enjoy. It's all at the Salty Iguana. It's a spectacular day. It's supposed to rain tomorrow morning, so get out and enjoy it. Come on by, get some great Mexican food, have some Corona premieres with us, and enjoy a little Danny Unleashed. Brought to you by our friends at Easton Roofing, online at eastonroofing.com. No payment collected until you're 100% satisfied, whether it's your home or, yes, your business. No roof is too big. No roof, no business is too tall. Easton Roofing handles them all. Any roof you got, Easton Roofing is the guy you know that can handle it. Joe Spiker and his great team, absolutely the best in the business. I know they're the only folks I'll let on my roof or my mom's roof. Find them online at eastonroofing.com. Danny, welcome to the program.
Well, how couldn't I feel welcomed at this beautiful spot on a beautiful day with 6 or 7 hours of the best weather we're going to see in the last few days or the ensuing few days.
Yes.
Right in this window.
Yes.
Obviously delivered just for the Salty Iguana and us.
It's one of those days where if you got an outdoor event planned for a couple of weeks from now and you're like, what would you like it to be like? How about this?
Yeah.
This is what you'd order up.
I mean, if you don't, it's a little cool. I did wear a long sleeve shirt because I was like, we're probably going to be in the shade. Maybe it won't be warm enough, but it's plenty beautiful. It's perfect.
Perfect. So come on out.
Not much of a breeze, but a nice little one.
Enough to let you know you're outside.
Yeah. Come get you some.
Come join us on the deck here.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Yes.
I love it. And I love it because it's covered, so you're not like, I'm baking in the sun.
Nope.
It's honestly, it's one of the best patios in Kansas City.
You can see the sunshine. You can experience the sunshine, and as a skin cancer survivor, sort of.
Well, you didn't survive?
No, cancer related to skin cancer, but it wasn't really skin cancer.
Well, I don't want to really go any further.
No, that's all right. That's fine.
Yes, you got everything. The only thing, Curtis gave me grief because I had my sunglasses on, but I got a reflection off that back windshield.
Well, I didn't give you grief. I said you look cooler than I did because you had sunglasses on.
Well, but I'm the only guy on the patio that's facing straight out towards it. And everybody else is facing.
Yeah.
You don't have to make any excuses. I have to wear my golf sunglasses because it helps with this goofball eye I've still got. So,
and I'm an idiot and I just never wear sunglasses.
I don't wear sunglasses either. I seldom, if ever, do. I've gotten great sunglasses for gifts. Joe Spiker from Easton Roofing gave me some beautiful sunglasses.
There you go, Joe.
Christmas.
Don't waste your money on Danny anymore.
A couple of years ago. No, I actually make more of a point of wearing because they're so nice. But I've always given my wife a lot of grief about it because she would just lose one pair of beautiful sunglasses after another. I'm like, just buy some cheap ones or something.
Yeah.
Buy some Quick Trip sunglasses because you always lose them. You're just going to lose them. I know they're beautiful. I love mine. Oakleys, or I think they're Oakleys that I got from Joe, so they have a treasured spot in my car.
Well, good.
Yes.
Well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yes.
All right, Danny, your last man up on the on any thoughts on the draft?
Oh, the draft. Well,
where'd you think I was going?
Well, I thought you were going to the last man to pick the Royals. Last 6 games of that, but we can do that later.
Oh, well, who do you got?
We'll do it. We'll do it later.
Okay,
we'll do it later because you wanted to start with the draft, and we've just done a lot of that, and we got plenty of time out here on the beautiful deck at the Salty Iguana. I think the Chiefs did perfectly well. I think I'm not really with Jazzu J about the fact that I don't. He was like he doesn't like the pick of Xavier Worthy. I just wasn't in love with it for the circumstances, and I thought there were other wide receivers who just were about as good, and they traded up, and I think they could have got the same sort of value, and part of it's built into the fact that they have the best quarterback in the National Football League and the best play caller and somebody who can be creative with all kinds of players, so I think that the pick is going to be fine, because I think it's almost shocking, to be honest, that some of the receivers who the Chiefs have not thrived more. And maybe, I guess we could start to explore the possibility that the system isn't quite as wide receiver friendly, maybe for one wide receiver or to somebody to excel, unless they're like a generational talent, which I would think that Tyreek Hill fits into that category. But for some of the other guys, you would think that it's a perfect system for them to be in and not become McCole Hardman. But that's been the case so far. So I guess I have a little more expectation for Worthy than some of the other guys, but but he's also a low first-round draft pick, and they were generally low second-round draft picks. So and then the ensuing picks all fit in lovely fashion for them.
What I think is interesting about the wide receiver pick and how it came about is, as far as a strategy or a philosophy maybe from Brett Veach, clearly, at least in some situations, there was 4 guys there. Probably any one of the 4, it was Worthy, it was Leggett, McConkey was there, and obviously
Junior,
A.D. Mitchell, and other guys were there. But he thought, this is the guy I really want, so I'll make the move. They would have been okay with really probably one of those, but he felt in that moment it's worth dropping or moving to get the guy I really want to get. Yeah. Whereas the Bills also needed a wide receiver. We're in that spot. They went back to 32. They went back to 33 and got a wideout. It wasn't like they weren't looking for a wideout, but the Bills thought these 4 or 5 guys are probably thought. These 4 or 5 guys are all in the same spot.
I'll say this. Yes, he's putting himself on the line to be right. I like the Bills' strategy better, because I think these guys are all kind of the same.
But it might be a situation where the Bills say these 4 or 5 guys are all kind of around the same. Maybe we lose a couple percent, not getting the guy we really want, but we need picks. We need more players. We have to build a roster, maybe more than the Chiefs. So their priority was take the guy who's going to be the best at that spot and use the help in the draft capital to build your roster, whereas Brett Veach may have looked at it and said, I want this guy, and so I'll sacrifice a little bit to get the guy I want.
Well, he better have thought, I'll get this guy, otherwise he just shouldn't have made the trade.
Well, Keon Coleman and Xavier Worthy are very different. Keon Coleman doesn't run fast. Xavier Worthy's the fastest ever measured.
I agree with that. I don't mean they're the same in playing style. I think they would might be the same in production for the Chiefs.
Right, but
clearly they wanted that speed because they were terrible going down the field last year.
Well, and I think it's Ivan said they feel maybe they're wrong. Maybe they can have a bunch of average speed receivers and do well. But Andy Reid has always had fast guys.
Yeah.
And the problem is, over the last couple of years, he's had fast guys who can't catch.
Right. Or can't think, or
can't fill in blank.
Whatever.
Can't get it done for whatever reason, but he seems to clearly feel he needs an element of not, everyone in the NFL is fast. Yes, but fast for the NFL. And so that's why I say when you grade Brett Veach on McCole Hardman, know that he had a coach over his shoulder going, I got to have a guy who can stretch the field. Mm-hmm. Right? When you grade Brett Veach on Xavier Worthy, he's not just drafting who he thinks would be the best player if he played for any of 32 teams. He's drafting the guys to fit the coaching staffs and schemes, the wants of the coaching staff and the schemes that they are going to play. Yes, it's ultimately Brett Veach's job. I mean, especially when you know that the coaches are good. Right. This isn't a bunch of rooks. It's like, they hired Michigan and Harbaugh brought a bunch of college coaches. We know these guys can coach. So from that standpoint, I think there is more pressure on Brett Veach to be successful because he's not handing them to a bunch of boobs. And the wide receiver coach isn't a boob, but he's young.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if he ends up proving it. They've given him a lot of clay to work with. We haven't seen a lot. Now, if Xavier Worthy goes south, something has to change.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Okay? Either the
it would be a pattern.
The wide receiver coach or the picking has to change.
Yeah.
All right? So this one is very important for a lot of people's jobs, or at least a couple of people's jobs. Not Brett Veach's, but the receiver coach. But I'll say this. I was thinking about Xavier Worthy. If Xavier Worthy were in the 2017 draft, where would he go?
I can't say that right at this minute off the top of my head. I'm super familiar with the 2017 draft.
How have you not looked at that time and time again?
I don't know. I feel like I failed.
I
failed this segment.
I only have the drafts back to 18 committed to memory.
I'm going to tell you.
The reason I'm reticent to reply, because it seems like you didn't just pick that number offhand. You had an idea.
You had a plan. He had a plan to make us look bad.
Yeah.
There you go. You hit it. You nailed it. You snipped it all the way through.
I think Philadelphia. Wrong.
You succeeded.
It took me a minute for my computer to cooperate. So let me remind you of who went 10 in the 2017 draft?
No, just say it. I'm not going to summon it.
It was Patrick Mahomes.
It's Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, okay, right.
Yeah. You boob. Tried to make that one easy.
No.
Now here's the hard one. Who went 9?
I know.
Former Chief legend for about 5 minutes last year.
Clearly a wide receiver.
Yes. Didn't make it out of camp. Andy Reid said he retired, although he said he didn't.
Wasn't he? Right. He was
John Ross.
John Ross, the fastest guy.
From Washington.
Right.
And so John Ross went 9th, and he had the second or third fastest. Look up the fastest combine 40s.
4.22 was him, it is now the second fastest. It was the fastest until.
No, I thought the fastest was Chris Johnson. Was it? No, I think you're right. Maybe it was.
I think Ross was the fastest.
So the last time a guy had the fastest 40, he went 9, right? And by the way, at Washington, John Ross had an 81 for 1150 and 17 TD year. So if you want to say, well, Worthy didn't have as good a year in his senior year. You're right. He didn't. Xavier Worthy's final year at Texas was 75 for 1,014 and 5.
Yeah.
So he wouldn't have gone 9. But there's no way that in 2017, or if you go back 20 years ago, that Xavier Worthy wouldn't have gone 10, 12.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, oh, he's fast. And John Ross and others have ruined it for fast guys. You don't get that big kiss and all the money.
Hollywood Brown.
Well, and I think Hollywood Brown. But I think there's a chance that I'm not going to say Xavier Worthy's going to go on to be a Hall of Famer, but I think there's a decent chance that Xavier Worthy, the Chiefs got a kiss, and he was there at a spot that he wouldn't have been at if they hadn't kind of sucked on fast wideouts the last 5 years. Like, those guys aren't doing him any favors. And if he can really play wideout, the Chiefs got a bargain. That was the thought that came to me, this week. I was like, well, if that had been John Ross, we'd have been talking about him going way higher.
Well, I think it plays into what I think, and I know that somebody like Brett Veach would probably say I'm a fool, but I just think being that tick faster doesn't mean that much. Now, that doesn't mean that Xavier Worthy isn't a good football player. I'm just saying that the fact that he ran 4.21 instead of 4.27 doesn't matter to me, and I don't see how it matters on the football field, really. But I can prove to be wrong. Now Tyreek Hill's a super fast human being, but on the football field, he's like way faster than everybody else.
Yeah,
I mean, and he just catches the ball and then spins and he's off again. Yeah, running sprints.
I think
so. That's football fast. I'm not saying that Jerry Rice was football fast. His time wasn't fantastic, as I remember. I mean, there are people who are more football fast, and they do like the 10-yard, and I think 10-yard is more of a indication.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is there a difference between 4.6 and 4.8?
Yeah, I would say 0.2 of a second.
Okay, well, but 0.18 is the difference between Ladd McConkey and Xavier Worthy.